Hey guys, Lisa here, Divine Messages 333 LLC. So we are going to do a love reading, and I'm going to start with fire signs. All right. We're just going to see what comes out regarding love for fire signs. I will make other videos, and we'll be going with the different elements: fire, earth, water, air. I'm going to start with Aries right now. And I want to say, like, first of all, I've been like sitting here for about an hour deleting crap on my phone so that I had space for more videos. That was super annoying because I was in the middle of an Aries reading and it just stopped. The camera stopped, so ran out of storage. Need to clean up some space. I won't even get into what the reading was because it just stopped, and maybe something else will come out here. But we're going to do love message for Aries. Today is March 30th, 2025. This reading is timeless. I also want to mention that I do have readings right now, 50% off on readings right now. So you can go to the bio or description box in this, like underneath this video, or on my YouTube channel, Divine Messages 333 LLC, and all the details will be there on how to contact me, how to pay, and you can let me know what kind of reading you're looking for. I do not do readings like on medical stuff or legal advice. I don't give legal advice, okay? So it's a really good deal right now. A lot of people consider this time of year, Aries season, to actually be the beginning of a new year. So happy new year to those who are recognizing this time of year as the beginning of a new year. And what else was I going to say? I was going to say something else. Yeah, so spring is here, even though today in Minnesota it snowed again. It snowed last weekend too, but it doesn't stick. Anyway, all right, so Aries. There will be timestamps as well. I'll go back and do timestamps, but when it comes to love, what can you tell Aries when it comes to love? These are the Romance Angel Oracle deck. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Okay, so you may be, if you're an Aries or you're dealing with an Aries, there may be some people are gonna think of this as maybe like a generational curse. That's a term that's thrown out a lot. I heard it put another way, which I kind of like that a little better, because and that is generational patterns, okay? Ancestral patterns, generational patterns, but patterns versus curse. Okay, so we can change patterns, right? We have to break curses. Curses also, I mean, people may like that because it's more dark or shadowy, mystical or something like that, but really, I mean, what it is, they're patterns, okay? And it could be patterns that you learned, patterns that have just been kind of inherited. Sometimes we don't even know why we're doing something, and we just say, well, it's because my parents always did that. My mother always did this. It's what my dad he's always done. you know, so you may be dealing with that. Um, maybe you haven't even really, maybe you haven't even really recognized this within yourself. Maybe you haven't noticed this within yourself, or um, you haven't really looked at it as though it's a pattern, but uh, you could be, because your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So, you know, there may be like, again, toxic is another term people like to throw out, but I guess I would challenge people even with that term, because you know, we're all toxic to someone, okay? But are we actually toxic? Um, you know, if you can kind of look at this, look at that whole thing with like curses and toxicity, um, I feel like there's like this doom and like this kind of like looming, like something like this could kill, like it could kill a vibe, it could kill something good, it can kill something, you know, innocent, or you know, with like positive intentions, and I feel like that's giving it power. So there may just be something that you're kind of noticing, like maybe you do, or the if you're with an Aries that does something and you've noticed, like you've been around their family or something like that, and you're like, wow, the person, you know, this Aries, or you know, if you're the Aries, kind of repeating, you know, I'm seeing the same thing. Like I saw their uncle, and their uncle was doing this and that, and you know, the person I'm dating is doing the same thing, and it's almost like they don't even think twice about it. It's like second nature to a person. And you know, someone may say, well, that's just really toxic behavior. Well, it may, yeah, it may be like dysfunctional. So it's not like something isn't functioning properly, right? um but toxic, and not in every situation, um but a lot of people may hear toxic and get this idea that someone's doing something intentionally and they want to, almost like if someone has a um they're an alcoholic, okay, and you know, they're, let's say that there's two people and they're in a relationship. One person is addicted to alcohol and they have not stopped, and the other person is feeling like, you know, if this behavior doesn't stop, this toxic behavior, it's going to kill you, it's going to kill our relationship, it's, you know, nothing can grow from this, nothing can flourish from this. um, you're doing this on purpose, you're choosing the alcohol over, you know, me, or you're choosing, you know, the alcohol over your friends, your family, your job, whatever. I mean, to a degree, yes, there is a decision made. And um, there's also a sickness. So is it dysfunctional behavior? Yes. The person isn't functioning properly. Is it toxic? Well, I mean, literally, alcohol is a toxin. It could, you know, yes, it could kill a person. Yes, that behavior can ruin relationships. But if you're thinking that they're intending to do this, you know, this is their intention, that they don't care, that can definitely be argued. And unless you're in a situation like that, or you're the one going through that, you know, dysfunctional behavior, you're the one that is operating that way, mm, you know, I think that's really difficult to totally say that is, you know, an intended behavior and that it's toxic. Now, I feel like I'm not making any sense right now. So, and I was not at all expecting someone to be talking about that. So, someone may, and as I'm looking down, I'm seeing this card. Okay. This is making me think of like someone needs to take a cold shower. Um, like if somebody was like drunk and they needed to like get in the cold shower to kind of sober up, wake up. Someone may be waking up to some dysfunctional patterns that have been going on in their family. That took a long time to get to that. So let's just keep moving on. Okay. What else about this for Aries? Let go of control issues, allowing the situation to unfold naturally. Okay. So again, now we have a person here, and then we've got a kid, and we have again a kid here. Letting go of control issues can definitely be something like a pattern. You could have a controlling parent. So worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Okay, so we've got let go of control issues and then worth waiting for. So someone may be feeling impatient. This kid almost looks like they want something, and see how the spirit has the hand on the head, kind of like trying to get them to like calm down, settle down, something like that. Someone may be, and then the way these angels are, it's like they're eagerly waiting, they're anticipating something. I'm just going to get one more from the romance angels. Aries, love, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So with the expectations and needing to let go of control issues, yeah. When we have these high expectations or expectations in general, and things are not looking how we're expecting, some of us can tend to get a little controlling, want to put our hand in there and start manipulating things to go in our favor, or in our favor. All right, so going back to healing family issues, Hammer, sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, working on it. Tell us more about healing family issues for Aries. Sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. Boy, this really does to me. I'm really getting the controlling vibe here. That's for sure. With the hammer, I'm hearing like laying down the law. Someone may be a gaslighter or may have been gaslit a lot as they were growing up. With hammer, we have interrogation. That's kind of sticking out to me right now. The interrogation, the gaslighting. With the control issue. Okay. Twin flames, yin yang, zen, balance, union, duality, coupling, complement each other. Okay. So this kind of brings me back to, I think I was saying in the beginning of this video that I had, sorry, I've been sitting here a while, I gotta stretch. The first video that got cut off, one of the first card that came out was engagement. And on that card, it was romance angels. And on that card, it's a man and a woman sitting. The man is dressed in black. The woman is dressed in like white or light colors. And I remember saying that the people, the couple, could be kind of like opposites. The next card after that was honeymoon. What was the last card? It might come to me, but I can't think of it right now. So what I was getting is that because it was engagement and honeymoon. Yeah, I can't remember the last one. There was only 3 that I had pulled at that time. But that someone may be like meeting someone's family around a holiday time, and there could be well, I'm just going to speak on that. That's all I'm going to say about that. We'll see what else comes out. I don't want to. Okay, so with complement each other in yin yang, the balance, I'm kind of picking that up again here, is that Aries and their person, the other person involved in this reading here, could be kind of opposites. Or if they're not like opposites, complement each other, you know? So if you have 2 people and they're very, very similar to each other, they don't really like complement each other. They kind of, I mean, you're basically getting 2 of the same. I can't think of the word I want to use, but you're basically getting like 2 of the same. And when I hear complement each other, it's like, you know, one person has something, another person has something else, and together, you know, they go well together. Tell me about let go, control issues. Why is that here? Girl with a snake, empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable, and boundaries. Okay, so with the control issues, someone has issues with boundaries. That could be why they're watching and stalking. And they're persistent about it. And an empath and narcissist are like opposites. Tell me more about letting go of control issues for Aries, please. Ascending, transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, preparing for union. Okay. Preparing for union. Okay, so with engagement, in the, like I was just talking about when I started the reading previously, on that engagement card, it talks about the relationship like going to another level. And this is talking about preparing for union, ascending. It may not be happening the way someone wants it. Somebody might be manipulating. Someone may be manipulating. Someone may have had a very manipulative parent, and they saw that play out in negative ways with their parents. Or if it's not their parents, it could be, I'm getting like one parent dated and they just kind of saw that I hear repeat, and wasn't there repeat here? Yeah, hammer, repetitive, sabotage, interrogation, persistent, working on it, rebuilding. Either Aries or the other person that they're dealing with had their parent, if the parents weren't together and they were dealing with that kind of situation, maybe you had an empath and narcissistic like parents. Maybe one was an empath and one was a narcissist. And if it wasn't like, that extreme where someone's an empath or a narcissist, very like kind of different parents, like two different parents, and they watch that play out. So that might be what the kind of relationship you're in right now, and you're living that. Okay. And did I just put that back? Oh, did I just put that back? Maybe I didn't. I don't. Sorry. I I feel like someone gets distracted easily. Like somebody gets distracted easily. Um. Okay. Going back to what I was just saying. Someone may have had a parent as they were growing up. The parent, if the two weren't together, then at least one was dating. And when they would date, they would watch this kind of cycle with their parent dating. And it's kind of like, they'd let's say someone's mom dated a lot. Didn't even have to be a lot. Let's say she had, 2, 3 boyfriends while someone was growing up. Okay. But the kid or children saw, if you think back, probably this whole cycle from beginning to end play out and then repeat again with the next person. And then if the parent dated another time, then it's just like the kid, I'm getting that they're seeing that. And so what you might be experiencing is that you're going through similar cycles. Someone might call it a generational curse. I just challenge you to think of it as a pattern, okay? A pattern, because patterns, we just change them, okay? When someone thinks of curses, they may feel like it's this doom. You can't get rid of it, almost like a disease or something. Like you can't do anything about it. Like you have no control, you have no power. Well, this isn't like controlling, because this is, we need to let go of the control issues, but that could have been one of the patterns, or control could have played into these patterns. And you may be finding yourself in that empath narcissist paradigm right now, or something very similar to it, where someone is being manipulative, and when things are not going the way they want, things aren't ascending the way they want, they're going to put their hand in it, okay? They're gonna want to do something about it. They're going to want to they don't want to wait. Mirroring each other, self-image, relationships reflect our wounds, introspection, right? So someone, if not both of you, um they're looking inward, like, but I think they're starting to tie it back to their family, their parents. um Sometimes we really want to be so different from our parents. Sometimes we don't want to go down the same path, or we think, we're going to do this different. And then you know, we are, oh, excuse me, creatures of habit, um, a product of our own environment, right? And we, how do you do something if you weren't, like, I was going to say, how do you do something different if you weren't taught? You do things in the way that you were taught, but in order to do it differently, you have to learn that as well. You have to learn how to do it differently. And if you're not consciously making that effort, if you're not very intentional and mindful about, your moves, your motives, your behavior, um, how are you going to do it different? You know? So when it comes to thinking about, yourself, you may be at a point right now where it could be, I'll say, less difficult to forgive yourself for the patterns that you've continued, the behaviors that you've allowed. Um, and if you're able to forgive yourself, can you look at your parents and your parent, and can you understand that they may have been doing the same thing? That this is something that they passed down to you, not even intentionally most of the time, but it could have also been something that was passed down to them. So you may be mirroring the person, because we have twin flames here, but you may be mirroring the person that you're with, although I'm also getting that you are mirroring what you grew up around. You're also mirroring what you grew up around. Tell me about worth waiting for. Oh. Coffin, endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, and transition. Okay. So, yes, you're ending I'm just listening to something right now. You're ending what your family I'm hearing continued, brought you. You're ending what you grew up around because you grew. You've grown. Liberating. It's liberating. It's liberating when you let go of the control issues. And okay. Love, unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. So this is interesting. Sorry for all the pauses here. I'm hearing things at I'm getting stuff as I'm going. Um and I'm getting a little distracted by it because I'm trying to figure out. I feel like with this love reading right now, this is more a self-love and love, not necessarily focused on romantic love, although yes, we're touching on that, but I feel like this is more a reading about self-love and like forgiveness, more like forgiveness, and that is going to help you um, to be able, well, help you grow and transition into this new chapter, which is going to be liberating, which is going to be freeing, um, and will ascend. You will ascend, you know, kind of like, let's say someone was always that, like maybe somebody was married, okay, then they got divorced. Maybe they've even been married a couple times. So maybe I'm talking to some people who are a little bit older, like 30s, late 30s plus. Doesn't have to be, but because this example is coming up. And then, so they're divorced, okay? And they're saying to themselves, like, I'll just be the eternal bachelor. I'll be the eternal bachelorette. I'm just going to not take like not going to be in a commitment anymore, you know um because the opposite sex or whoever you're attracted to just all they do is play games, and they're just trouble, so I'm just gonna like have my fun and no commitments. But as you've been working on yourself, as you've been willing to look at yourself, because I feel like this mirror, even though it's talking about mirroring each other, I do feel like you've been looking at yourself, or someone's been looking at themselves. And I kept looking at this, the hammer and the sunglasses that came up before, but I kept seeing it as the hammer was smashing the sunglasses, okay? So, like, the hammer is like and I was getting like rose colored glasses. Like, so someone is maybe someone put their family, like they felt like their family was not dysfunctional, or if it was dysfunctional, they didn't really, like, they accepted it the way it was, like, oh, that's just mom, oh, that's just dad, type of thing. But they're really seeing, like, wow, I kind of repeated, even if I ended up getting divorced and my parents are still together, I kind of repeated that um pattern. Like, maybe, you know, dad was really manipulative, and then mom just kind of fell in line, because maybe she felt like her hands were tied or something. And then I got in these marriages, and you know uh I wasn't necessarily the one manipulating, but I always felt like my hands were tied because spouse, my spouses were very manipulative toward me. Okay, so it's like you kind of mirrored. So if you look in a mirror, right, you're seeing the opposite, right? So it could even be that, like, um, say you're a masculine and you're with a feminine, male, female, doesn't matter, but, and let's say your masculine parent, like, like, your parents, right? You're doing what the other sex did, if that makes sense. So, like, let's put me an example. So let's say my dad was one way, my mom was one way. Well, I'm I behaved more like my dad, and my partners behaved more like my mom. So you might be seeing something like that. I'm just feeling like this is more about self acceptance. I'm hearing discovery also. Like, you you had these sunglasses on, you had these rose colored glasses on, maybe when you looked at your family, your parents, and you thought, like, I'm hearing could do no wrong. Like, maybe you just didn't realize that you were even in, like, your parents were even dysfunctional. Maybe you didn't realize that. And you're seeing that, you're seeing things about yourself, but from that, you're able to grow. Okay? And from growing, um, you are able to free yourself. Okay, accepting things, understanding them, seeing them in a different way. Oh, remember I was talking about waking up? Like, maybe you woke up. Maybe you woke up, um and now you're seeing things because you took the glasses off, or you smashed those glasses, so you're not really, like, seeing it that way anymore. um and so you're ascending. So even, like, the way you're thinking about relationships could be ascending. It could be like on another level now. Okay, so now maybe instead of just keeping things casual, maybe you're starting to see, like, oh, now that I am aware that I do this, or I've done this because my parents did that, or because a parent, that I was around did that, and I picked up that pattern, right? I learned that pattern. Now I'm going to unlearn it, and I'm going to replace it with something else. Well, maybe now I could actually date someone, maybe, like, exclusively. Um, doesn't mean I want to get married again, but maybe I could, date someone exclusively, you know, even though you have kept it casual. There may have been people who wanted to um, get to the next level with you in a relationship, just maybe be exclusive, and you were always, like, pushing that off, and then it kind of, like, I'm hearing relationships fizzled out because you weren't on the same page, you weren't um, willing to bend, because of your experiences. And so, because you have woken up to some things, I'm getting that the end of certain things are here now. And so it could allow for you to change your perspective on some things regarding love, relationships. Um, yeah. All right. So keep an open mind for Aries. Clock. Need time, takes time, in time. Cycles, time to heal and progress. Right. Progress, but progress. Like you've made progress. Okay. We also have what the worth waiting for, control issues. I feel like I was saying, things with the expectations, um, people can get impatient. I feel like this is also speaking to divine timing. Also, waking up. It's an alarm clock. What waking up? Um, and the cycles, like the patterns. Okay. Yeah, this is about um, more like self love, and with the unconditional love, not everyone experiences unconditional love with family. Uh, but if you do, then it's another confirmation about family. Also, though, you may be learning how to have unconditional love for yourself. As I'm saying that, I am looking and I'm seeing that my storage is low again, and this is going to shut off. So, what we are going to do, so this is not a complete, like, ugh. I got a different phone, so I wouldn't have this problem. This is gonna shut off soon. I'm just gonna get advice, and I'm really sorry, but I will continue this. I'm probably gonna do separate reading for each 12, all 12 signs. So this is just for Aries, okay? And I will edit that and put it in the video or something like that. Hopefully I can do that, right? I can do that. Okay. Bust out of your cocoon. Grieve your losses. And trust the divine plan. Okay? Someone is being very impatient. Talked about... No, that was me. Sorry, it was me. That's my dog. Grieving your losses. I'm getting, when I first pulled this out, I'm getting that how I was talking about, there were people who wanted more from you, if you're the Aries or whatever. People that wanted to take a relationship to another level, but someone wasn't willing to. They may have kind of felt like, they lost people. They lost out on good people because of what they were not willing to do. So, grieve that. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you lost the love of your life. Or, I mean, if it's meant for you, they'll come back. And if they weren't the love of your life, you can learn from all of this right now. And if that's the kind of person that you want to attract again, you can. And this time you'll be in better alignment. because obviously you weren't in alignment with that energy, or, you know, it would have worked out in a different way. Busting out of your cocoon, right, because something died, the transformation, the transition. Yeah, okay. So this phone is going to shut off, and it's gonna really irritate me because I want to get this message to you. So, oh.